So I guess when network news, I mean, it sort of starts off like a sort of zine, you know, and I'm sort of talking about the ideas behind nocturnal emissions, and there's some quite straight interviews in there, and some poetry. What's that? There's a little story in there that one of my collaborators, Jonathan Whitfield, wrote at the time. Well, looking at ultrasound and, you know, all these sort of themes that were these ideas that were behind them. Got a sort of a discography up to the date now, which is sort of considerably expanded since then, and just bouncing it backwards and forwards, and increasingly, I mean, one of the ways I was doing this, which ties in with some of my current work, is to it weaves in with it a lot of contemporary news reports about strange goings on, and I was pretty skint at the time, so I wasn't buying a newspaper. What I was doing was diving into this waste paper recycle bin and pulling out newspapers and just going through there looking for interesting bits. So then the recycling that you know, the recycle bins, I mean, that's where it's all coming from, waste paper bins. And then sort of as I wrote this, I mean, it's getting more and more sort of conspiracy theory-ish, but it doesn't turn into it doesn't really turn into a solid sort of theory. It sort of turns into this fiction, really, about the time of the eclipse. There was a solar eclipse, and it drew a lot of people into Cornwall in 1999, and there was a lot of fear of all these raves and that were going to happen when the eclipse went off, and just the strain on the infrastructure, which is what we've been experiencing every summer. I mean, every summer the hospitals are just packed to them. The hospitals are packed. The one hospital is packed to the max all year round anyway. But in the summer, as the population doubles, and it's probably like 4 times as much this year. I don't know what the stats are, but there's a huge strain on the resources here. What was I saying? But so this fear of what was going to happen during the eclipse, I mean, it sort of triggered off all these ideas, and there's all this stuff about Chesterfield, like this trick, just going back in my memory to 1973, 1974 in Chesterfield. It's all here in sort of fictionalised form, this sort of garbled memory of these formative years, really, just reimposing them. And I think it's all coming back again now. It's a bit like, what's it called, Scarfolk, where the everything's trapped in 1974. I don't know if you're aware of Scarfolk, these series of books, but he's hit on something. But this isn't what this is. There you go. This is Leo, and there's Virgo, and there's the scales, Libra, and there's Scorpio, the Scorpion, and there's Sagittarius, and there's Capricorn, Aquarius upside down, of course, the fishes, Pisces, Taurus, the bull. Of course, Taurus, the bull here is on Rao Tour, and so sort of a lot of more information has come out about this area here since I've done this, because it's all been on Time Team, you know, with Baldrick. So there's some very interesting materials come out of this. There's been astro, what's it called? Astro-archaeological. Serious, proper astro-archaeological ology has been done on this. But I mean, I'm just playing about with sort of just playing about with a form of a surrealist dialogue, I guess, in creating these fantasy figures on the landscape.